Josh, okay, we're continuing on this series of videos on the 8 principles that I've found that help accelerate spiritual growth. Introspection is way up there on the list. I've always been good at that and fascinated with it, and I have a lot of practice doing it because I stopped getting high and doing the whole party thing at 15 and a half because I was going crazy. I had to stop. So I went to a rehab, and then I started going to meetings, and I became clean and sober at 15. So I had a lot of time on my hands. Everybody else is messing around and partying and doing this and that, and I'm like with myself, because how many other people at that age aren't doing that? I even joined the Marine Corps sober. That was weird. Everybody's like, when they have free time, they're just all getting drunk, getting tattoos, and I'm like, what am I doing here? So I had a lot of time to introspect. Now, most people don't do this. And so those that do this, when you really start doing this on a subtle level, which is where it counts, this is where it really counts, looking at subtle stuff, you're probably not going to have a large list of friends and company, because they're going to be on a different frequency than you. People don't want to look at this stuff. They want to stay asleep, and then when you share certain insights with them, they get uncomfortable. They don't want to hear it because it's like you're waking them up from their sleep. They want to enjoy their whole projection and dream that they're living in, and chasing girls or guys, or trying to be cool, or trying to being obsessed with gains and making money and all that. And if you're doing real introspection, you're checking your motives. You're seeing like why do I want to do what I feel compelled or have a strong desire to do? I want to be with this girl or guy, but yet I can feel they're somehow not right for me. Like, why? Why am I trying so hard to be with this person? And you start looking, you start introspecting. I think I want to have sex, actually. I think that's what it is. Okay, so fast forward, have sex, then what? Yeah, then I'm done. So then you can save yourself the time of pursuing something in an inauthentic way because you've done the proper looking. Or you can get a new sales job or be pursuing some position in some company, and maybe they're getting ready to hire you or something, but yet something inside feels, see, that's the thing, you have to pay attention. Is something inside telling you to check this? Most people aren't aware of that, but those that are, listen to that little voice, because it's quiet. It's telling you to check yourself. Whatever you're trying to pursue, it's saying check yourself. This may not be, you may not need this. So you want this thing that's going to give a lot of money and success, like I did with acting back in the day. I wanted to be an actor, but something inside was like, no, you don't. Call out, stop this. And you start listening, and you start introspecting and seeing. Oh yeah, you know what? I'm doing this because I want to make a lot of money, because I have a fantasy that if I have a lot of money, then I can go get this and that and this and that, and then what? See, this is the question. And then what? You get this and that and this and that, then what? Go there. Mind doesn't want to go there. Go there. Okay, if I get this and that and this and that, then I think I'm going to be happy then. But then something says, no, you're not. You already know you're not. You've already got this and that before, and what happens? You just want to get more of this and that. Your mind says, okay, you got that, what's next? So you take yourself out of this rat race of like the next thing, the bigger. You somehow see through that. You're like, I want to get out of this machine. It's not working. I'm wasting my whole life. I don't want to spend 70 years, 80 years doing this and then die, and I don't have anything. What is anything? The most valuable thing that you can do while you're a human on this planet is to increase your level of consciousness, your quality of energy, your character. This is the biggest thing. How do you do that? Introspection and these other principles that I'm talking about. So you catch yourself, you check your motives. We have to check our motives. People don't check motives. Everybody's lying to a certain degree. Even if they seem to be telling the truth on paper, they're lying about why they're telling the truth. They're probably telling the truth because they think that then they'll get some praise, or they're going to get some recognition. It's going to help further their career or success. And so, yeah, I better be honest. But what about, would you be honest if that means your career would crash? Would you be honest knowing, what do you honor more? Your projection of your superficial external life, or integrity, what your inner being wants you to do? Even if that meant your world would crash and people wouldn't like you, what would you do? I've shared before, I had a story, this guy and I, we went and did medicine. I knew this shaman, we did plant medicine. It's a San Pedro ceremony on the equinox. I talked with this shaman many times. We'd talk about semen retention, and he seemed to be on point. We'd get along. But then game day came. Life hit him with game day. What does it mean? It means this guy that did medicine, his psyche's a little fragile. He couldn't handle it, and so he checked out and basically just became, just couldn't take care of himself for a couple weeks. So we had to take care of him, me and this girl. It sucked, but whatever. This shaman, his wife told him, look, we got to construct a story up here, man. You don't want to mess your whole reputation up, because we're living in a smaller town, people are going to think like you were bad. You gave this person medicine and now they're all messed up. They're going to hold you responsible. Maybe you can get in trouble. Maybe you go to jail. Who knows? So she's like, let's say this. After he did the ceremony, maybe he went out and did another drug. That's what happened. And then that's why he's all messed up now. Yeah, let's do that. And then that protects us. Shaman's like, yeah, I guess so, okay. So then they try to get me to jump on board on that nonsense. I was like, no, man. And so I was done with them. After that, I'm still done. Like, I have no feeling for them at all. At all. They showed me their real character. Because they didn't want the responsibility, not only of what people might think in their reputation, they just didn't want to be bothered with him. They never called to see how he was doing, nothing. They just was like, I don't know, I got my money for the ceremony and that's it. Okay? Character, integrity. What do you value more? They valued their idea of their external life more than their inner integrity. For sure they felt the feeling that like what they're doing was messed up. I know they did. Because I know, when you know yourself, you know everybody else, basically. And so that's why when you do this subtle introspection, when you start to fall in love with that, and you start to see like everything, don't get too mental with it, but let the life force guide you on the things to look at. When you start to solve your own self and your own inauthentic complexities, you start to, you know everybody else, because everybody has the same thing. They're all doing the same thing. Their motives for survival and self-preservation is the strongest instinct, self-preservation. And this ties into that. People don't want to, they don't want to threaten their idea of what their happy life is. They'd rather lie than do that. And then they lie to themselves about why they lie. Supposedly, this guy I told you about, he confronted the shamans, the shaman later, and asked him like, so did you do this? And the shaman says, no, man, I didn't do it. And the shaman tells himself he didn't do it. Anyway, humans are delusional for the most part, deeply delusional. So when you start doing this work, this subtle introspection, you're gonna be kind of like alone a little bit. But that's good. That gives you more time to do it. So you get solidified on this higher level of living and spiritual growth, and then you'll start to attract those people who they gravitate toward that. But that won't happen until you get more stable. You see, we need this alone time to persevere and to cultivate this this higher spiritual quality of introspection. And then you just get to where you practice. That's your practice. You do it automatically. You just want to do it. It's like breathing. You're not trying to breathe. You just breathe. Same with introspection. You start checking yourself. You're looking at stuff. Oh, I noticed a girl. I'm looking at her. Why am I looking at her? I'm getting a little dopamine hit on the lust. I like her. I like her energy. I want her to look at me, to validate me. And that's why I'm looking at her. Because if I keep looking at her long enough, maybe she'll look at me. Then I'll see that she looks at me, and then I'll get a little hit. Subtle introspection. Are you doing that? Are you willing to do that? This is what separates, you can say, the true spiritual beings from the not, or the fake spiritual beings. Spiritual circles are full of people who they don't do any introspection. They just do some yoga and meditation. Yeah, I do some qigong now and tai chi. Oh, I'm spiritual. No, you got to like get in and do the work. You can't just bypass this stuff. You look at that stuff. Somebody's leaving a comment asking me about shadow work. This is the shadow work. You introspect and see, you just check yourself. Just, where am I at? What's going on? What am I doing? What do I value in life? As I go through my day and I have my interactions with people, pay attention how you're acting. Pay attention how you're trying to get validation or approval. How you're trying to use them to give you a sense of security because you don't feel it in yourself. Catch that out. That's the only way you can transcend these things. You can't transcend something unless if you don't see it. That's the first step, is you see it. Introspection will give you the ability to see these things clearly. Then you have a chance at transcending, but then give yourself time. It's not because you just see it and then you transcend it. It takes a little bit of work. You have to make this your highest goal and purpose in life. Not to make $1 million. This is your highest goal. If it's your destiny to make $1 million, you'll make that. But let me tell you, that can cause stress, having a bunch of money. What are you going to do with it? Sometimes people say, oh, then I can help the whole world. You don't know who needs help, though. Inner guidance has to tell you who to help. There's some people, they're in a troubling situation. You try to give them a bunch of money, you might be robbing them of a lesson that the universe is prescribing them to give them a higher level of spiritual growth, which is much more important than having a bunch of money. You see? Because you take with you when you die, that's the only thing you take with you, is your level of spiritual growth or your level of consciousness, your quality of energy, your character. That's what you take with you. That determines the next plane that you go to. Law of resonance. Having a bunch of money and success and a bunch of girlfriends or boys, that doesn't determine anything. A bunch of gold and everything, gains, what is that going to do? It don't do anything. So see what you really value in life and start paying attention to that. And leave me any questions you have, and we'll just keep going. All right, have a good day.